Hey everybody, this is Race coming at you again from lovely Southern California. Today we're doing a review of the Morley ABY mix box, and I gotta tell you, man, I wish this box was around 20 years ago because it would have solved a lot of my headaches. What Morley's done is they've taken an interesting spin on the classic ABY box. Now this does basically everything you'd expect an ABY box to do. You know, it'll do 2 inputs to 1 output, 1 input to 2 outputs, 2 into 2, you know, all the traditional things you'd expect a good ABY to do. But then what they've done is they've put a couple of different spins on it. First thing they've done is they've added independent controls. So, for instance, I have another ABY mix box that has 2 buttons on it, but what it lets me do is it lets me toggle between A or B and then have either both on or only one on. Doesn't ever really let me to turn both of them off. So the beautiful thing about this box is because, as you can see on the bottom here, there's an output A and an output B, and there's a button for each. You can either have one on, or both off. So it lets you do muting as well, where other ABY boxes may not let you do that. Second thing is, if you look in the upper right, you can see that there's level controls for the input. This is great. This solves a problem that I've had, and I know a lot of guitar players have had for a long time, which is, let's say you're playing a cover set and you're doing some songs that you need a Les Paul for, and then there's other songs that you need a Strat for. Well, typically you'd end up fumbling around with some settings because your Les Paul is going to put out typically more than your Strat is, so either your Strat's going to sound thin or your Les Paul is going to blow away the front of house guy. So they've solved the problem. They give you independent inputs and let you mix those inputs. So as you can see in this one, I've got level 2 set up a little bit higher than level 1, and I bet you can guess what's going on. I got my Les Paul going into input 1, and I've got my Strat going into input 2. So now what happens is when I play, I can just switch guitars back and forth, and my levels are going to be the same even though I'm playing a higher output guitar or lower output guitar, because Morley has allowed me to mix the inputs. So I got my Les Paul on right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a little. I've plugged into my Boogie Mark V channel 2, you know, nothing special, no effects, dry, but here's what it's going to sound like going through input 1. Alright, so now I'm done with my Les Paul song. You know, I've done whatever I'm going to do. Doing my Leonard Skinner, doing my Boston, doing whatever. But now I got to do a little Eric Clapton. So I go over and I pick up my handy dandy Strat. Now this is the part where historically I'd get burned because I have to turn up, turn down, adjust settings or whatever. But all I have to do now is pick up my Strat and... So this is great. Now I can mix any 2 inputs to the levels I want. Obviously, you know, me being a guitar player, it's going to benefit me most doing a Strat and a Les Paul, but you can do anything. You can do your guitars and your keyboard. You could do a guitar synth. You could, you know, anything that you can spit out of a 1/4-inch TRS jack, you can put into the Morley ABY mix box and mix your 2 signals into whatever you want. 1 output, 2 outputs. You can have your guitar going to your guitar amp and your keyboard going to your keyboard amp. The sky is the limit. But it's not only that they've given you this functionality, it's they've put the control in your hands instead of at the front of house, or, you know, kept you adjusting levels on the fly. This is a great box. You know, no tone suck whatsoever. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I hate to use ABY boxes because they suck the life out of my guitar, or they affect the tone." There's no tone coloration here, that I've been able to perceive. Overall, this is a great box. This is a godsend, and this will be a staple of my pedal board going forward. The Morley ABY mix box from Morley. Go ahead and check it out. I think you will be impressed. Until next time, this is Race. Play it 'cause you love it.